Welcome to Benson Financial, where we look at finance from a teen's perspective. Today's going to be a different type of video. I'm just going to be talking about what comes to mind, but it's another coronavirus video. So I already made one about what the coronavirus is doing to the economy, and it's pretty much been doing the same thing, just dropping the economy. It's occasionally been going up, but it's mostly been going down. And like I said in the first video, if the economy continues going down, it's likely that a recession will happen, and now a lot of people are saying that a recession will happen or is happening right now. So that's what's been happening in the economy since I've made that previous video about the coronavirus. But since it has been going down and everything is a lot cheaper now, I am actually considering investing. And like I did say in my goals video for 2020, I do plan on investing in an index fund, which I might change that to like stocks or something, because that's what I'm thinking about investing in since everything is low. And when things start going back up in a couple months, that's when I expect to start making money from those investments. As I'm sure you've been hearing, a lot of places have been closing down, whether it be restaurants or schools or something. And this week my school closed because of it, because everyone's scared that we could get it, which is a reasonable concern. And closing down schools and other places is a good way to hopefully help stop the spread of the coronavirus. So this leads me into the next point of what I think should have been done globally and nationally, as we've seen the virus spread and get a whole lot worse in just a couple of months. So I think we did the right thing when we first saw this outbreak spread, and that's closing borders with China and stopping people from going back and forth and potentially getting it and bringing it back or bringing it here. But we also should have put more attention into screening people in airports, but for the most part it really wasn't done, and that's something that I think should have really been paid attention to. It would have been a good way to detect symptoms before people even know about it and they're getting into large public areas like airports, and then eventually making their way home and going wherever else they're going while they have symptoms. But I think we also should have prevented traveling to Europe a lot sooner than we did. It shouldn't have waited this long, especially since we've seen what's happened in Italy and how it's spread, and also how we've seen it spread in other European countries. We really should have closed off those borders and prevented people from coming in, because now we're seeing a lot of people that have it because they've been traveling. And we also shouldn't have kept people on those cruise ships where one person gets it and then hundreds of people contract the virus because they're stuck on a cruise ship with just one person that had it. It would have made the situation a little better if we had gotten people off those cruise ships as soon as we could, or as soon as we knew that there was someone with the virus on the ship. I don't think the government paid as much attention to it as they should have in the beginning, and that's what allowed it to spread as bad as it did. And now thankfully they've seen that it's more than just the common flu, so they've really gotten better in how they deal with the situation, and now they see that we are having major issues because of it, and they're trying to fix those issues as they come up. But with everything put together, I think it just shows that our country and the population as a whole were unprepared for an event like this, and hopefully in the future we can see people are more prepared for when things happen like this and don't have to rely so much on the government or aren't in such a frenzy because they aren't prepared at all for something big to come up like this. But nobody really knows how long this is all going to last. We can all hope that it's going to get over soon, but we know it's just going to take months. Now we see places in China that were the most impacted. They're already stopping the quarantines, the mass quarantines, and even other countries in Asia are already starting to rebound from the virus impacting them, and now it's not as big of a deal as it was to begin with. So we should have done some of the things that we did to prevent the virus from spreading, but I don't think it would have been necessary to completely do a full quarantine of everybody and everyone has to stay home like what was done in China. But we should have really closed our borders and made sure there was a good quarantine on the people that potentially had it, just to prevent them from going out and spreading it even more. So hopefully we can get over it as quickly as those countries did, but I don't really see that happening. So it could be 6 months from now before we really see things going back to somewhat normal, but I think it's gonna take a lot longer than everyone's really expecting. But what scares me when it comes to it is I don't want any of my family members, especially the older ones, to get it, because as we've heard, the elderly have more problems when it comes to this. So I obviously wouldn't want them to get it, and especially since a lot of them have other health issues that could potentially make things a lot worse than it would be with other people. And also the mass panic because of it, I wouldn't want to have to kind of deal with that, especially like stores closing or not having anything. But I did want to talk about all the misinformation going around. I've seen multiple like news reports or whatever about like different myths that they're listing that they have to tell that are wrong. So what I want to say is whatever information I shared in this video, hopefully it's not wrong because I don't want to share any incorrect information, but make sure if you are sharing any information, make sure you know that it's correct and not going to scare people or give people a wrong impression. An example of incorrect information going around that I've heard is why toilet paper is flying off the shelves. I've heard someone say that people are scared that we won't have toilet paper anymore because China is our main producer, and since factories are closed down in China, we won't be getting any more toilet paper. But that's not true because the U.S. makes most of its toilet paper, so that's not true, and it's just a rumor or something false going around. And it just shows that people don't know everything that they're talking about when they are sharing this information. So make sure if you hear something, don't go say it to someone else without verifying that it is true. So moral of the story, just make sure what you say to other people is true, and make sure the information you're getting yourself is true as well. So I'll just share a couple tips about how to make sure you can prevent getting it yourself. Obviously stay home. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. And also just make sure you wash your hands as well, and use hand sanitizers and whatnot. And also don't stock up on unnecessary things. Well, I'm not sure if I explained myself well enough about what I think about the coronavirus, and hopefully everything that I said was true. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.